I've tried more than 500 AI tools, and these are the ones that will actually blow up your business. I own dozens of AI companies, and I can tell you in the new AI era, you won't get rich by working more. You'll get rich by using the tools that help you work less. And no, this isn't a basic AI tutorial that you've seen 100 other times. These AI tools are what I'm using right now in all of my companies to get more done and stay ahead of the competition. So let's dive in. Tool number 1, Granola.ai. What I love about Granola that none of the other apps do, first off, it doesn't join your friggin' meetings. Have you ever noticed all these note takers? I literally don't let them in my meetings. It uses the audio on your app and it's local so that nobody else sees it that you're recording. The other part is it has AI assisted notes, meaning that I can type out in Granola in real time in the meeting, and afterwards it merges the transcripts with my notes to create something very comprehensive. And finally, my favorite part is it truly acts as an AI second brain. Like, I can ask it, show me all the meetings where we discuss pricing, and it'll show it to me. It's a game changer when it comes to just making your meetings so friggin' efficient. So that's just the first tool. We've got 11 more that'll help you print freaking money. Number 2, N8N. Essentially, it allows you to connect everything and create workflows, and using AI to help it route and make decisions for you, because that's what AI does better than anything else. Automation is the future and why AI is going to transform the business world. And it scales without adding any headcount. It frees your team to actually focus on what matters and drives growth, which is talking to customers and making sure the team is good and hiring better people. That is what's powerful. So I'm going to challenge you to automate your whole onboarding. Here's the whole flow that I do in almost 90% of my companies. First thing is, once the payment happens, that triggers that information being added to the CRM. That's step 1. Step 2, send them a welcome email. What's different with AI is I can personalize that email based on the information I captured from the call or that payment. Step 3 is send them an email to fill out an intake form. The intake form is everything I would normally ask on the call. The cool part is step 3 can actually be done over voice, which we'll talk about some tools on how to do that. So they don't have to fill out a form. They can actually get a phone call and talk to a real person, AKA AI, to get that information. Step 4 is invite them to your support. Right? If that's a community or a Slack channel, you can invite them into that world so it's all automated. Step 5 is send them a follow-up email only based on the things they haven't done yet, so it can monitor and make decisions and send very personalized emails to get them to complete those steps. Step 6 is to invite them to a call with one of your team members so they can walk them through how the whole process is going to work. But on that call, and this is step 7, is there's an automation that creates a personalized presentation based on the intake form that person on the call presents to the client to show them exactly how what you do is going to be customized for them. That is all done auto-magically. Now here's the deal. N8N is pro level. If you want to go something more intermediate, check out make.com. If you want something that's tried and true and I've been using for almost a decade, check out Zapier. But OpenAI, not too long ago, just launched Agent Builder. So you want to watch out for what they build, because even though today it looks very advanced, it could get really simple and universal for everything else. So I'm keeping an eye on it. All right, automation's running. Cool. Now let's build faster than any of your competitors. Tool number 3, Lovable.dev. This is gonna blow your mind. Lovable is the easiest way to build any app. So you know those people that are like, I got an app idea. You can build it. In the past, you had to hire a developer. Now you just need to know how to type any language, English, Spanish, Mandarin, it doesn't matter. Essentially, the AI is smart enough to figure it out, and it will build you an app that you can ship and use. So imagine you have a social media marketing platform and you want to run some ads for just plumbers in the Midwest. So you need a landing page just for that audience. What you can do is go to Lovable and say, build me a landing page for my social media marketing agency for plumbers in the Midwest, and hit enter. It will then build that whole thing. Now you also want to take payment. So you say, okay, add Stripe payment so I can collect a deposit. So then you get the output and you might say, well, now I want to add some other things like a form to collect information about the customer and the ability to get a deposit so I can get a commitment from the person buying. You hit enter and Lovable will add all those features to that page. You generate it, you test it, and you deploy it. It's that simple. So now we went from having to come up with an idea and hiring programmers to build stuff to having the idea, being able to type it and describe it and hit enter. The future of building apps for your business is going to shift everything. Speed is a competitive advantage. Don't sleep on this one. So now that you can build apps at lightning speed, it's time to close the deals. Tool number 4, youratlas.com. So Atlas is one of my portfolio companies at Martel Ventures, where you can have it call leads instantly ask it to qualify those leads and have it sell and book meetings 24/7. No bad days, no going off script, no taking vacation. This thing runs automatically in real time. We actually use it across all my companies. When somebody fills out a form, it calls them right away. I was showing my father-in-law the other night at dinner, and he's like, "Who's Emma?" And I was like, "Well, Emma's the AI." He's like, "Well, where does she live?" "No, like Emma's not real." "What do you mean she's not real? She just called you." I said, "I know, I was just showing you the example of how it works. That's Emma's not real. That is artificial intelligence." And his brain just went, Speed to lead is how you increase your pipeline conversions. The faster you can contact or call anybody that fills out a form or just follow up quickly to get them scheduled, you will stop them from searching for other solutions and they become your customer. Because once you see it, you'll understand how it works. So just go to youratlas.com, fill in the form, have it call you and watch it handle your objections and then get you on a call. Say, "All right, let's talk. Are you free 3 o'clock Eastern time next Thursday?" And it'll go burp, 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 and you can hear it typing, checking the calendar, and it waits. Even try hanging up before the confirmation. Guess what it's gonna do? Call you back and try to get you to book that call. Very realistic, all AI. Now great, that's your booking engine. Now we gotta create a voice that can sell no matter what. Tool number 5, ElevenLabs.io. This one's kind of like the OG AI. It's been around forever. And what's crazy is that it allows you to clone your voice. Would you be surprised to find out that sometimes I can't pronounce words like rigorously? The cool part now with an AI voice clone is they can do all of the pickups that I used to have to come into the studio to re-record now using my voice AI. Would you be surprised to find out that sometimes I can't pronounce words like rigorously? But think about it. When you can clone your voice at scale to deliver an incredible customer experience, that is powerful. If you're a business owner, you should be creating content. So for example, my brother sells homes. So the first thing he needs to do is go create a voice clone for himself. So he uses ElevenLabs. He gives it a clean sample in the app. He just follows the script, and that way it creates that AI clone for him. The second thing is you want to go find a video where you're like, oh, the energy's off, or you misspoke, or you forgot to say something, and then just have your editor use your voice clone to update those. That's super powerful and awesome, and you can just repost it on your Facebook or TikTok and see how it performs now. The third step is to go even further. So my brother, who has all these walkthroughs of all these beautiful homes, can have his video editor, his copywriter, write the scripts, have him read it, and publish those as different ads or different pieces of content specific to the platform. But it's all dynamic based on his voice and the editor doing it himself. This is a game changer for content. But what if you want a full AI video version of yourself? Tool number 6 is HeyGen.com. So this is AI video avatars, but you use the voice from ElevenLabs to plug it in to make the whole thing work. Just so you know, I was anti-AI avatars. I was a full content creator. Somebody's like, hey, this is my art, this is my communication, this is organic. People don't want this synthetic, artistic content. And then I was on a call with 7 AI experts that I curated from social media. I literally go every week and I'm on this Zoom call. And one of the guys asked me about my thoughts on AI avatars. And I said, I'm not a fan. And he goes, funny, because all the content that you saw that I put out there, that's my AI avatar. Oh. My personal opinion of this had to change. Those are those moments in life where you got to make sure that something you believe is not holding you back. If you don't want or don't feel comfortable speaking on camera, guess what the second best thing is? An AI avatar. Now you might say, well, that looks kind of weird and clunky. Today it does, but it won't in the future. And now you have no reason not to be serving your market. And when you say, well, nobody wants to watch that. Well, guess what? I grew up on He-Man and Astro Boy. The future is how good is the content, not does the person actually shoot their own content? It's not there yet. Again, this is still me, but I'm not disputing it like I did before. And here's how you use it in your business to make a lot of money. Use ChatGPT to write a script of you saying something powerful that can help somebody. Then go into HeyGen, choose your avatar and language, which is your own, and then export a ready to post video. Isn't that wild? It's still you talking to the camera, but it didn't take your time to shoot that because your editors could do it on your behalf. So now that the content engine is running and converting to leads, this next one is one of my favorites. Tool number 7, ChatGPT voice mode. The idea of hands-free ideation, problem solving, essentially using it as a therapist, thinking out loud, getting out of your head and into words is so powerful. The other day, I was struggling with a massive strategic decision. and I went on a run. And the cool part about voice mode is you can have it on your phone, but in your AirPods, so I could talk to it while I was running and my phone was in my pocket. And at the end of that 45-minute run, it told me exactly what I knew I needed to do that I didn't want to do. Like, that's the crazy part, is like a lot of people pretend not to know. They pretend that they shouldn't do this thing, when at the end of the day, good friends will just be like, you know what you got to do. And you're like, oh, I was scared you're going to say that. AI did the same thing for me, but it gave it to me with confidence. It gave me the numbers to make the decision clear. Why is this so powerful? It just becomes a real-time, cleaner way to communicate strategies, issues, challenges that's way faster to get an action completed. You using it is next level. Your whole freaking team using it is gonna make your business a lot of money. So here's a simple example that's gonna change the way you solve problems in your business. So first off, you need to tell it to stop being too nice. So that's where you wanna say, hey, challenge me, be my mentor, make sure that my ideas are bulletproof, keep asking me questions you feel like we get there. Then you wanna give it a challenge, but when you ask it, so if you're having to make a decision about like, what do I need to work on to fix my business, give it the language around theory of constraints, which is TOC. TOC is a problem-solving strategy to figure out how to increase throughput within your business. Once it knows that, it's gonna ask you questions about your marketing and your sales and your delivery. Then you can give it the data that it can use and then tell you what areas you should look at. Then I want you to ask it, well, give me 5 examples of how I could fix this problem with the resources I have, and give it the constraints. See, if you don't give the AI the constraints, it won't know how to solve the problem. Then it's gonna give you the answers, and you tell it to rank it based on the amount of time you have and the people on your team and what you're trying to create over the next 5 years. And having AI be a thought partner for strategic decisions using the framework I just taught is gonna make you a ton of money. Now that communication is super clear and AI is solving your biggest problems, let's talk about the data-driven decisions. Tool number 8, precision.co. Precision is built by one of my good buddies, Matt Verlack, who's also a portfolio company at Martel Ventures, because data is how you make decisions. And if you don't have a tool, then how do you know what scorecards to look at, flags to figure out if there's any weirdness, or to tell you what's the one action that matters? Precision does all that for you. And we use it in all of my companies to make sure that every leader is making the right decision based on the data that they're looking at, and nobody's trying to like come up with creative problems that don't exist. So every morning at 8 a.m., we get the KPIs, the key performance indicators, and one clear move to improve those numbers. There's fewer dashboards, and it's way easier for everybody in the team to win. Focusing on the right numbers is going to give you the highest impact for pulling on the right lever. So here's a quick example on how you can use it yourself. Essentially, you connect all your CRM information, all your billing information, all your marketing and ad platform. Then it will create a CEO weekly scorecard for you based on your business and your best practices. And then when you turn on the anomaly alerts, it'll actually post to Slack anything that it finds that it thinks you should go and spend some time on. Then it allows you to monitor your whole business with a one-page dashboard that shows just the KPIs that everybody should be focusing on. And just like that, you know exactly what matters in your business. Most businesses don't know what numbers to look at. Even if they're looking at the numbers, they don't know what's good based on their industry. And even if they're doing all that, they don't know actually how to fix the number in the business to actually grow the business. Precision helps you do all that with one tool. Now that you have your numbers looking good, let's learn how to multiply yourself without spending any extra money. Tool number 9. Fyxer.ai. Now it's Fyxer.ai. They probably put it on the screen somewhere, but that tool essentially is your AI ops assistant that handles calendar, travel, vendors, wrangling, SOPs, follow-ups. It's essentially like a modern day chief of staff. And as the guy who wrote the book, Buy Back Your Time, this is one that's near and dear to my heart because I knew at some point that low-level assistant role was going to be automated through AI. Now, I don't think it gets rid of that person because a lot of communication with the world is very human, but it'll help that person get everything done automatically. So here's a simple example on how you can use it today. First off, import all your playbooks. These are all your standard operating procedures. Some people call them manuals. Essentially, it's your way your company works. Grab all those documents, wherever they may be, and import them into the tool. The next thing is you want to assign ownership to the inbox. So you need to give it access to your inbox so it can move all these things forward on your behalf. The next thing, and it's really cool, is you get a weekly digest of all the stuff it's been doing and all the exceptions that it didn't know how to route so you can deal with them directly. Usually, like I said, you would have your executive assistant do all these tasks, but with Fyxer, essentially it can do it for you. Most people don't have an EA because they don't know what they would give them to do. If you want to download my internal 42-page document of all the things I do, from my North Star principles for my executive assistant to the templates to the emails to the whole structure, it's literally 15 years of experience in this document. Just click the link in the description below and download your copy today. So now that your inbox is taken care of, great. Now the next tool is a game changer for all the leaders in your company. Tool number 10, gamma.app. This thing takes all these crazy ideas, all these words, and creates visual outputs. I'm talking decks and docs and web pages, essentially all your words into created designs. Humans learn through pictures, okay? That's what we see in our minds, not words. So for example, back in the day, we used to put everything, all our strategies, all our priorities in a Google Doc, but the problem is that in meetings, nobody was leaning in. We took that same document, asked Gamma to visualize it, and now all of a sudden people are paying attention because we're going through it slide by slide and there is a picture communicating what we said is a priority. That alone is worth the price of the product. Here's a simple example that if you want to try just to see how it could work, just go in there and write the prompt. Watch it. Auto-generate the layouts, the charts, the callouts. Essentially, it does it all for you with very little information. Imagine if you actually gave it a full document with instructions. Cool part is that you can then take that and export it to a PDF where you can click through or even publish it to the web as a web page. Okay, so now that you visualize your information and the decks are clean, now let's build your company brain. Tool number 11, BuddyPro.ai. BuddyPro AI is another one of my portfolio companies at Martell Ventures, and it is super freaking cool. What it becomes is essentially the brain for your business. Why? Because you know all this stuff. You have beliefs, you have strategies, you have experience, you have frameworks, you have all these things that you've collected over the years. And when somebody comes to you with a problem, you give them the answer. What if all of that was captured and anybody at any time of the day could actually talk to it and get the answer you would give it? That's the power of BuddyPro. In the future, you'll be able to license those brains from other companies. Think about the culture at Netflix, the product design from Apple, or the brand creation from Coca-Cola. So you see how cool this gets? So scaling your business requires scaling your knowledge. The first step is to load everything you got. I'm talking, if you can, extract your email knowledge, extract your social media knowledge, extract all the internal trainings, extract everything and give it to it. It will take all that information to make sense of it. Then you want to categorize all your beliefs into buckets because your beliefs drives the way it guides the answers. The cool thing about BuddyPro is it also takes the context of who's asking the question and it creates like a personalization on top of their question, and they can add a bunch of stuff so that they get the answer specific to them. So imagine if every client that you've got, you load their context into this so that when they send a question in, it knows all the things they've bought from you. It knows all the times they've reached out to you. If there was recorded calls, it has all those calls to use as information to actually give them the right answer. The interface is as simple as using ChatGPT for your clients. This will change your support challenges, your customer success issues, your coaching, your training. You can use it for your clients and you can use it for your team. So now you've got all your knowledge and you made it accessible to anybody on your team or your clients. This next one is taking the future of business to another level by changing the experience for all your clients. Tool number 12 is VAPI, V-A-P-I, which stands for Voice API. Essentially, Voice is like a completely different version of like your Atlas, where your Atlas is very focused on helping you make money. The Voice API is essentially building apps that use voice for your business. You can use it for anything. There's actually a funny example of this 20-year-old kid that used it to call all the used Rolex stores to negotiate a Panda watch on his behalf. It did all the calls. The voice they used was a like New York Italian guy, and gave it the scripts for it to negotiate, log all of the price confirmations from those negotiations into a spreadsheet, and essentially allowed him to sort by the least amount of money for that Panda with the right specs. It was wild to watch. Just Google it, you'll find it. Essentially, you can scale outbound sales, inbound support calls without adding any new hires. So here's a simple example. Imagine you have a team of people doing support calls and you just want to like help the person faster. So I want you to use VAPI to take the call, identify the core problem the customer is having, try to answer it on the call using the AI. And if it can't, real simple, just redirect it to the current team that you have so that the human can solve the problem. And then what you do is you're just trying to get it better and better where it doesn't have to route to the human anymore, because every time it does, you take that information, you update the prompt, and then it can do it in the future without having to do the routing. Do you see how you can like start there and then slowly remove people from your team and retrain them to go do other stuff? Imagine how much time that's going to buy back, not just your time, but your whole team. The crazy thing about voice is that it is the preferred interface. I don't want to fill out a form anymore. I'd rather just call a number and talk to AI because it's so good now. So it's not even to solve your current problems, it's trying to find new ways to make money using voice. So there was a lot of tools I just went over, but I want you to just pick one tool and ship it this week. Put it in your calendar, 90-minute block, go in there and use it. If you stack that win and do that every week, you'll watch your revenue grow in your business. And just a reminder, if you want to get my internal document for my executive assistant playbook, just click the first link in the description below and download your copy today. I understand keeping on top of AI is really hard. And I know that you're like, thank God Dan's putting out this content, or I wouldn't even know where to start. But every one of us can learn it. The future of business is AI plus your business. It's putting AI first. If you don't decide to say, I am an AI-powered X company, then unfortunately in 3 or 4 years, there's only gonna be one winner. It's the company that's using AI. So don't sleep on this. If this resonated with you, make it part of your culture, integrate it into your teams, use it on a daily basis, and never stop. Because honestly, every 60 days, the whole thing is changing, accelerating, and getting better. Now, those tools will definitely help you grow your business. But if you want to learn how to use ChatGPT better than 99% of the people out there, just click the video and I'll see you on the other side.